Thank you for joining us for DuPage County Animal Services Bite Prevention. The goals for this webinar are to discuss why bite prevention training is important, cover basic safety tips around dogs, understand some general dog behaviors and body language, and what to do if you are threatened or bitten by a dog. Dog bites are a largely preventable public health problem. Each year, around 4.5 million bites happen, around 1 out of 72 people in this country. Not all of the bites are severe or need medical attention, and many happen with children. But still, insurance companies pay out over $500 million each year to cover injuries from biting incidents. The more we understand about dogs and their behavior, the better we will be at noticing warning signs to help us prevent future incidents from occurring. It is important to understand that all dogs can bite. Anything with teeth can bite you. Some dogs will be able to cause more serious injury due to the vast size and strength differences between dog breeds. But remember that any dog bite that punctures the skin can transmit disease or cause other serious problems. No matter what the size of the dog is, we need to treat that animal as a potential danger. Even dogs we've interacted with in the past can bite. Dogs have bad days too. If they have had a particularly stressful day or are dealing with health issues, they may be more prone to bite than in the past. Many cases we receive at DuPage County Animal Services involves owner bites. Just because you know a particular dog, do not assume they will never bite you. Many times when a dog bites, we hear it happened out of nowhere. Dogs frequently give signals that they are stressed or upset or feeling threatened that go unnoticed. The best way to protect yourself is to learn what dogs are communicating with their bodies. Looking at this picture, we can see many signs this dog is uncomfortable that we will cover in more detail. Dog body language is an elaborate and sophisticated system of nonverbal communication. When we learn how to read a dog's posture and signals, we'll better understand his feelings and motivations and be better able to predict what he's likely to do. It is important to understand the context for that dog as well. Dogs are more likely to bite if they feel threatened and scared, or if they are startled, if they are ill or injured, and if they are in a protective mode. Be sure to be extra cautious around food, if the owner is present, or near an enclosed area the dog may want to protect, like a car, crate, or yard. Let's cover some basic dog safety advice. As we can see in the photo, this woman is not paying attention to her situation and is likely going to have a problem. It is important to pay attention to the surroundings and the dog's body language at all times. We never want to startle a dog. Do not approach a dog that is eating or sleeping. And make noise as you approach the house or yard. Honk your horn when you arrive and jingle your keys as you walk up. Take stock of the environment by looking and listening for signs a dog lives there. Are there toys, bowls, or other evidence of a dog? What do you hear? Make smart decisions. Do not enter a yard or house with a dog on the loose or where the owner is clearly not in control. If a dog approaches, never turn your back or run away. This can cause their hunting instincts to kick in. If you're making an appointment to visit someone, tell them in advance to secure their dog. Otherwise, when you arrive, if possible, ask the owner to secure the dog in another room before you enter the home. Don't be shy. It is okay to insist that animals be secured. You may get owners who claim their animal is not a threat, But in that case, you can still insist, but emphasize it is also for the dog's safety. Dogs have a great ability for empathy, and they can tell what we're feeling. If it's a stressful situation for the owner, the dog is going to pick up on that stress and be uncomfortable. Let the owner know you want to make sure that the dog feels comfortable because having a stranger in the home is very stressful. Tell them, let's do what's best. Let's keep the dog put away while I'm here. Again, don't be hesitant about it because it's all about your safety, the owner's safety, and the dog's safety. Next, let's look at some common body language signals to help us understand how dogs are feeling. There are whole articles written about dog-tail communication. Today, we're just going to cover the basics. But if you own a dog or come in contact with dogs regularly, I encourage you to explore this topic further as it is very helpful for communicating with dogs. Dogs wag their tails for many reasons. As we can see in this video, the dog is wagging its tail, but it is not a happy signal. Basically, a wagging tail indicates arousal or excitement, but that can be caused by happiness, fear, and anxiety. How a dog holds its tail can give us some clues on how they are feeling. Pay attention to the height of the tail. If the dog is alert or aroused about something, may hold his tail higher than normal and keep it held stiff without any movement. Look at the base of the tail, not the tip, because different dogs naturally hold their tails at different heights. Check to see how the base of the tail is in relation to the body. Look at the motion of the tail. If a dog is standing his ground or threatening someone, a person or another animal, the dog may flag his tail, which means it's held stiff and high, but moves rapidly back and forth in a rigid manner. It might look like he's wagging his tail, but everything else about his body tells you that he is not feeling friendly at the moment. Also pay attention to the size and shape of the dog's tail. Dogs without tails, short stubby tails, and surgically shortened tails will be a little harder to read. One study showed that these breeds had a higher incidence of biting than breeds with full tails. It is possible that the lack of tail makes it harder for the dog to communicate their feelings and then feel their only option is aggression. If you encounter a dog with a docked or surgically shortened tail, pay extra attention to the way they hold their body, and other signs we'll cover later. We do not want to base our assumption on how the dog will behave just on the tail alone. You need to pay attention to the whole dog. This is the body posture of a relaxed or neutral dog. This is what you want to see. Most people know what a happy dog looks like, but let's look at the details. The posture is relaxed or even wiggly, and their weight is distributed evenly over all 4 feet. The tail is in a relaxed position and may be wagging. The mouth and eyes are soft, no hard stare, no tense muzzle. And the ears are up, but not frozen in position. Overall, the body is loose and relaxed. But how do we get from this posture to a dog that's showing aggressive tendencies? There are signs to look for. In general, dogs will give us signals that they are stressed or upset, but these signals can be pretty subtle. Not all dogs will show all of these stress signals, but they do tend to follow a pattern of escalation called the canine ladder of aggression. And don't worry if you see some of these signals in your own pet. Context here is very important. Stress signals can be blinking, yawning when they shouldn't be tired, and a nose lick. A nose lick is a quick flick of the tongue out to lick the nose and then back in. Dogs may try to make themselves smaller and put their ears back or lift up a paw as a submissive signal. They may also try to distract themselves by sniffing away from what's stressing them out or even by scratching themselves. Further up that ladder, you will see the animal trying to avoid the stressor completely by turning their head or their body away. If these signals are ignored, the dog may go into a defensive position and offer some aggressive behaviors. Aggression is a threat, and signs of impending aggressive behaviors can include snarling, growling, showing teeth, snapping at the air, lunging, barking, and then finally a bite. Some dogs will bite once, and some will continue an attack until stopped. We want to make sure it never gets to that point by understanding the early signs and other body language cues. Here is a fearful, submissive dog. Many bites occur out of fear. The dog may decide the best defense is a good offense. This picture shows a lot of those stress signals we talked about on the previous slide. Again, you may not see everything presented just like in this dog. Some dogs may show some signals, but not others. And the progress between this and aggression may be very quick. This dog is trying to appear small and non-threatening. Its tail is tucked and its ears are back to make it look smaller. It's showing it is uncomfortable with blinking and a raised paw. It will also probably try to avoid eye contact in another attempt to appear non-threatening. This dog is very uncomfortable, and the best course of action is to slowly back away until the dog feels more relaxed. Sudden movements, especially towards the dog, could result in injury. Defensive aggression is often seen right after the fearful body posture, as the dog has decided the threat is too big and they aren't able to get away. The ears are still back, but now the hackles might be up. Instead of hunched over, they have moved into a crouching position and their eyes are staring to keep whatever the threat is in sight at all times. A good sign the animal is moving into an aggressive mindset is the teeth are now exposed. We are the only animals who show our teeth when we are happy. If an animal bares its teeth, it means it is stressed, afraid, or angry. An aroused or alert dog is trying to understand the situation and preparing its strategy. You can see the eyes are hard and staring. The overall body posture is tense, and you may see a little curling of the lips to show teeth, and the hackles might rise a little or the tail start to get bushy. This can happen in all sorts of situations, like seeing something new, maybe another animal or a person, or hearing an unfamiliar sound. You may see some stress signals as well with this body posture as the dog processes information and tries to determine what to do next. The final posture is known as the aggressive attack. This can come after any of the postures we saw before and can happen very quickly. This is a dog who has decided the only way to deal with a threat is to fight it. This dog has hackles fully raised and is trying to look as big as possible. They are probably making aggressive noises, snarling and growling, and they have shifted their weight forward to get to the threat. If we've arrived at this point, we need to focus on our reactions, which we will cover next. If an unfamiliar dog approaches you, again, Do not run. Try to stay still and calm. Don't make loud noises or scream at the dog. Present your side to the dog and avoid direct eye contact. Dogs perceive direct eye contact and head-on body posture as a threat, so use your peripheral vision to keep the dog in view, but do not stare. Keep your arms firmly by your sides. You can say "go home" or "no" in a firm voice. Do not turn your back on the dog. Wait for the dog to pass, or you can slowly back away, but you want to make sure that you're still keeping this dog in your line of sight and using slow, calm movements. If we've gotten to the point where the dog is showing aggressive behaviors, that crouched posture, hackles raised, vocalizing, or snapping, how can we diffuse that situation? The best course of action is to distract the dog or give them something else to attack that is not your person. You can throw items to distract the dog. Do not throw items at the dog. We want to draw their attention away from us in a different direction, and we don't want to antagonize them or make them feel more threatened. At this point, we can try to use aversive sounds to discourage the dog from coming closer, like a small air horn or loud whistle. Once you've distracted the dog, you can move to safety, but do not run. This will trigger the dog's hunting instinct. Instead, back away, keep the dog in your sights, and move to safety slowly. If a dog lunges, sacrifice whatever you happen to have in your hands to the dog. The idea is to feed it to the dog so they attack a possession and not your person. It is a lot easier to replace a coat than your arm. If the dog still is approaching you and seems intent to do harm, curl up into a tight ball and protect your face, throat, and chest until help can arrive. Always report a biting incident, even if the injury is minor. Many people have a misconception about the purpose of a bite report. The main thing to understand is Animal Services is not in the business of confiscating people's pets. That's not what we do. If a bite happens, we follow up with the owner that the animal is up to date on rabies vaccination and follows a rabies observation protocol to make sure the person bit was not exposed to rabies. Rabies is fatal to humans if untreated. We also want to provide education to the dog's owner about how to prevent bites in the future. It's important to have a record of the incident in case the dog has a history and we are concerned for public safety. In that case, some restrictions like muzzles or secure enclosures can be ordered by Animal Services or a judicial process to prevent another incident. If you have any questions or require additional support, please contact us at humane.education@dupageco.org or call us at 630-407-2808. Thank you so much for participating in bite prevention.